Good afternoon, everyone. Welcome to the maiden edition of the Pathfinder Series titled Leveraging Reliable Marketing Insights for Real Estate Businesses. I am Samiat Abdulaziz and I'll be your moderator for today. Before we begin, let me take a moment to express our gratitude to the audience for your presence here today and also to our amicable guest and speaker for today, Ms. Onome Umukoro, a renowned and accomplished marketing professional with extensive experience in managing marketing operations across real estate African regions. We appreciate you for gracing us with your presence, Ma. In today's webinar, we are bringing the spotlight on the real estate sector. So whether you are a beginner or an experienced professional seeking to deepen your knowledge, we have something in store for everyone. Additionally, I am happy to inform you that this webinar is proudly brought to you by Pandora Agency. Before we get started, let's cover some housekeeping rules. Okay, so the question and answer session is for 30 minutes. So in case you have any questions during the course of the presentation, please feel free to type it in the chat box. Also, you can feel free to introduce yourself and connect in the chat box. You can also engage with our guest speaker by sending emojis and questions. We will address as many questions as possible during the dedicated question and answer session. Also, after the webinar, we will share key points with you. So ensure that you keep an eye on our social media channels for more information. Thank you. So I am once again thrilled to have you all here. Now, let me officially introduce you to our speaker of today, Ms. Onome Umukoro. Ms. Onome is an integrated marketing specialist with over 10 years of extensive experience managing marketing operations and executing competitive strategies for diverse industries across African regions, e-commerce, banking, and real estate. Our demonstrable expertise includes deploying cost-effective integrated holistic marketing and corporate social responsibility CSRs campaigns across omni-channels, including email, events, and organic channels. As Mixter Africa's Group Senior Brand and Marketing Associate, she leads the team through various pivotal strategies and project management of 3 agencies across all regions, including Morocco, Tunisia, Nigeria, Cote d'Ivoire, and Senegal. This has led to the upward growth trajectory in awareness and conversion rates for the brand and the achievement of the team members. Prior to joining Mixter Africa, she once worked at Sterling Bank, and also her earliest experience was at Jumia Group. Ms. Onome has proven records of monitoring events performance against projected statistics to attain desired incomes. She is adept at improving the marketing budget, allocating funds, and conducting research to analyze trends and understand the needs or demands of customers for the improvement of customer service and achievement of the organization's overall goals. Also, she is instrumental in nurturing and maintaining cross-functional relationships to achieve business objectives. Ms. Onome holds a Bachelor of Arts in Philosophy from the University of Lagos and a professional certificate in branding and advertising from Orange Academy, Lagos. She is an alumnus of the Lagos Business School, Pan Atlantic University, having studied brand management. She is also an associate of the Advertising Regulatory Council of Nigeria, ARCON, and applied marketing from the Chartered Institute of Marketing. So let's get started. Please join me in welcoming our esteemed speaker, Ms. Onome Umukoro, who will take us through this enlightening topic, leveraging marketing insights for real estate businesses. Ma, we can't hear you.
Hi, good morning, good afternoon. Can you hear me now?
Yes, we can. Much
Okay,
better.
I was unable to unmute. I think the host had blocked everyone from being able to unmute themselves.
Apologies.
No problem. Hi, good afternoon, everyone. Good afternoon, Samia. Thank you very much for that welcome introduction. I'm very happy to be here, and I hope that it's an insightful and engaging learning session. Thank you for having me.
You're welcome, Ma. Okay, so once again, I am going to have to state the housekeeping rules. This is for people that are just joining. The Q&A session is for 30 minutes. So in case you have any questions, during the presentation, please feel free to type it in the chat box. Also, you can engage with our guest speaker by sending emojis and questions. We will address as many questions as possible during the dedicated question and answer session. Also, after the webinar, we will share the key points and relevant resources with you. So please keep an eye on our social media channels for more information. Thank you. Okay, so Miss Onome, moving to the first question, I believe aside me and majorly Pandora, people would be interested in finding out how technologies, advancements of technologies, and the twin effects on industries and their target audience, how the marketing real estate has changed over the years, basically.
Okay, thank you very much, Samiat. Technology has made significant changes on in every industry and basically everybody's lives. It has affected how we take how our general day-to-day lives, how we do our businesses, how we communicate with one another. Technology has definitely, in the past decade or so, made a significant impact on everybody's lives worldwide. And it's not any different for real estate. In fact, I think with real estate, technology probably, I would dare say, created real estate marketing, because other than just before there was the advent of things like social media, digital marketing, VRs, and the rest, the best way you could buy a house or rent a home even was to actually know somebody, a real estate agent, what we call, the normal real estate agents that will take you to about 5 homes, drive you up and down, you pay an agency fee, all of those things. And so there was no real marketing, so to speak, for real estate in Nigeria. However, since we've had things like online listing platforms, where you can basically sit in your house and conveniently select a home you want to rent or buy, you have virtual reality, you have augmented reality videos that allows you to do virtual tours of homes that have been built and homes that have not been built. So, for example, with Mixed Africa, we sell a lot of our projects are off plan. Off plan basically means we're selling homes that are yet to be built. So I can come to you and say, I want you to buy this house that is XX million naira. This is what it's going to look like in 5 years. You have a payment plan that allows you to pay over a period, and by the time you're done paying, the house is ready. Or the house is ready a few months after you're done paying. It gives you time to pay. Off plan is usually best in buying real estate because it allows you it's cheaper more often than not, and it allows you time to pay as opposed to paying for a house that already exists. Now, without things like virtual reality, augmented reality, 360 video tours, there's no way that I can sell to you an off-plan project because you don't know what you're buying, you don't know what it's looking like. Without being able to do a 3D rendition of a house that has yet been built, you can't understand what it is that you're buying. But so what technology has helped us do is not only create renditions and renders that allow you, you know, um, envision what it is that we are selling. It allows you actually even experience it. You can walk into a living room, you can walk into that does not exist digitally, and all of that is what the technology has helped us with. Even with houses that have been built. So you have drones that allows you to create content that you can see aerial shots of, an estate, a house that you're about to buy, what it looks like from different angles, 360 tours. That all of that helps with content creation, which has helped promote real estate marketing because before all of this, none of that was existent. If the house was not existing, you can't buy it. If they haven't taken you to drive a distance to go and see it, you can't buy it. And so it's made it a lot easier. Now, also, apart from making it easier for customers to experience what they're buying into, it also helps with reach. So because before it was real estate agents, one person at a time, two people at a time. Now, by just posting one content, I can reach up to 1 million people worldwide, anywhere in the world. And you have people, Nigerians in diaspora, that are buying property here in Nigeria, which was before now almost non-existent. So technology has made like a huge impact on real estate marketing. I would say it has even developed what we now know as real estate marketing. You now have, with the advent of even more advanced technology like AIs, where you can redecorate your home with an AI tool, you can build a model with an AI tool, you have data analytic tools that allow you to properly, for marketing now, the marketer now, to be able to properly identify a target audience, drill down to their habits, their psychography, everything, and be able to completely understand them. Influencer marketing that allows you to spread awareness, all of those things. As technology continues to advance, marketing continues to advance, and real estate marketing in itself is more advanced as technology goes. So the impact of technology cannot be overrated on how real estate marketing over other types of marketing or marketing in other sectors has been.
Okay.
We have a bit of an echo.
Okay, sorry about that. Based off what I understand, I've always known technology has been massive of late, but the whole getting to experience what you want to create, what you want to build via how you can integrate that into marketing, I would say that is an innovation that I'm willing to explore, to be honest. And I think the audience to everyone too is probably interested in knowing more about that. Okay, so the next question would be would you say digital marketing has improved sales and communication in real estate basically?
Oh yes, definitely. I feel like my first question answered that. So yes, definitely. You can reach, like I said earlier, you can reach a much wider audience now because of digital marketing. You can talk to people in different parts of the world and be selling the same thing to everyone in different at the same time. Beyond just being able to have a wider audience, it's easier to target. It's easy to determine the. So, for example, real estate is not your typical mass market production or service of goods, right? Real estate is not Indomie, it's not Milo, it's not even banking. It's not I want to pay, open an account. It's that I'm buying a house in millions, right? So I need to be able to properly target who I'm marketing to. If I put up a post and people who cannot afford the house are looking at it, I've wasted that post. If I do some sort of marketing and I have 1,000 leads and half of them are gate men, it's a waste of money. But what digital marketing allows you to do is to properly target who you're talking to, who you're speaking with, and let's make sure that your material reaches your audience. And in cases where, because it's marketing and it's everybody has access to social media, for example, and even though some people who are not even meant to see it gets to see it and interact with it, you can easily tweak quickly. I think that's for me my favorite thing about digital marketing. Where you're not getting the results that you want, it's very easy for you to tweak, change if it's the material, change your target, change something that will help you acquire your results without spending too much money. It's also very budget friendly. So it's easy to you can compared to like a traditional putting up billboards, putting up papers, ads in the newspapers. Digital marketing is much easier. It's much cheaper, and it's easier to see your return for money quicker. You can tell, okay, these are the number of people that interacted with my material, and this is what I got out of it. You can immediately get leads. It also helps with customer experience. So you have instant messaging, chatbots, emails. You can interact and get real-time feedback from your customers, and that helps with real estate, because real estate is largely based on trust. Customers want to trust the people that they're buying their homes from, that they're investing millions of naira into. So the fact that they can quickly engage you, they can quickly interact with you, you can get their feedback, they can see that you're applying their feedback. It helps them gain your trust. It helps you gain their trust rather, and it helps you with continuous and repeat sales or referrals. So yes, digital marketing has greatly improved sales and communication in real estate.
Digital marketing is measurable. That's interesting.
It is.
Yes, thank you for that clarification. Okay, so the next question, in your experience, would you say that it is better to create or adjust the product after consumer feedback, or is it better to develop what you know is best for the consumers and try selling to them afterwards? What do you think?
Okay, so this question, I will give my opinion. It's a very tricky question. I think that it's a it's a 50-50 thing, right? But my preference is to get your consumer insight before you go out with the product. It's my preference. It's what I believe succeeds, right? But both approaches have their pros and cons, right? So I will start with my preference, which is get your consumer insight before you take your products to market. The very great advantage from that is that you're sure to get a perfect product market fit, which is that I'm putting out a good product that the market wants and needs. And the possibility of me selling that is a lot faster and easier than if I just put out a product that they may or may not want, right? So let me give an example. If as a company, I say my expertise is building duplexes, 3-bedroom terrace houses, 4-bedroom terrace houses with cement. And I just go out and I say, okay, you know what? I want to put out this product, a row of 7, 10 3-bedroom apartments built with cement, ground up, luxury homes. And I build it let me look at a lower part of town. So let's say I build it in a place where it's not high class, right? I don't build it in a banana island. I don't build it in Lekki. I'm building it maybe in Ikorodu. And this is not to slight anybody that lives in Ikorodu. I'm just saying that there's, and I put it out there and I say, oh, this I want to sell these houses for 400 million. Everybody that's next week can be like, are you okay? Or 100 million. If I take that same house or those same buildings to Ikoyi, I probably will sell faster. Now, if I hadn't done some sort of research before getting to that point, this is what happens when you don't do your research before you start to put out your products, right? But the bad thing to that, right, is that getting consumer insights, and how do you get consumer insights? Customer feedback, surveys, focus groups, all those types of things, research, market research, reading reports. It can take time. It's very time consuming because if you do a focus group, for example, you ask a few people some questions, the questions come back to you, you want to, based on those questions, come up with products and samples, you take it back to them, come back. So if you were supposed to put out a product in Q1 of 2023, by the time you're done with all your consumer research, blah, 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 you might not bring out that product until Q2 2023, and you have lost your timing, you have lost your deadline, right? But we are sure that when you bring it out, you're bringing out something that people will buy. We are sure of that. So that time consumption can be the con of saying you want to do all of that before you put out a product. Also, the fact that consumers' needs always change. So you might have done this focus session in January. By April, they've changed their mind. Things have changed. The dollar has risen. Things that people no longer want what they said they wanted in January. Meanwhile, you have taken time to do that work and gotten the product and you have put it out in April and they're not buying because they've changed. Consumers don't typically always know what they want. In fact, sometimes it's when you bring out the product that they realize, oh, I actually need this. I didn't realize that I needed it. So that's the con for it. But more often than not, you're definitely sure of balanced feedback and adapting to what they want, and you're sure of a good product market fit. On the other hand, if you don't do this analysis or whatever before you go to market, what happens is that I would say the advantages, but the advantage is that first of all, you are probably working with your core strengths. So I'm good at building houses with cement. Maybe what people want is houses with bamboo, for example, but I'm used to cement. So I build at my cement. Now, I'm sure that this is what I know how to do, so I'm definitely bringing out a good product. Is it what they want? Maybe not, but it's a good product. Now, if I had done my consumer research, I could have known that they want houses made out of bamboo. I would have put out the houses made of bamboo, but it would have taken time because it's not my expertise. I have to go back and learn how to do that and then take time to bring it out for them. But I'm sure that when I bring it out, they will buy it. However, because I haven't done that research, I've just gone with my core strength. They can still be sure of the good product, it just might not be a good market fit. So that's the advantage and disadvantage of not doing customer analysis. However, I do think that nobody actually puts out a product without some sort of feedback, some sort of insight. It could be past insights from your last, research done, from your last product sold. Okay, we sold out on these products last year, so we should sell out again, right? It could be asking family and friends around, or what do you think? What do you think? There's always some sort of insight that goes into product development. You can't develop a product completely just off the top of your head or the top of the heads of people in one room on a desk somewhere. It's coming from feedback from different places. So I think that ultimately both strategies work, right? But it's best that you have some sort of insight, and it's best to have real time insight. So before you develop each product, because another thing, and but another thing to say is, if for example, I've done some research last year, and I'm going to say maybe I'm having an event, and last year my event was, say, I put out a bunch of finger foods and the samosa sold out. Everybody loved the samosa. So this year, based off of that, I won't even do any research. I'll just put out samosa because everybody loved samosa the last time. What could happen is that it could be that this event is for another set of people. Maybe I'm now bringing older people who like traditional food, and instead of samosa, they want eba. And I'm here putting samosa because the last event was for 25 to 35-year-olds who wanted finger foods, who were going to party afterwards, all of those things. And so they are more interested in something light. Meanwhile, I brought older people who want something, but I haven't done my research. I just said last time samosa sold out. This time I'm going to put samosa again. I will not sell the samosa because I have a different type of people. It could even be the same set of people, but this time it's on a different day. And they actually are hungry. Maybe it's during lunchtime and they want to eat proper food. But I've gone and done samosa because that's what they ate the last time. So it's important to continue to have customer feedback before you put out different products. I don't know. I think because I like food, I've used food as an analogy, but I think that that's the simplest way to say it. But it's
Okay.
best, I would say, to combine both strategies. Sorry, Samia. Combine both strategies. And there's also something I always say: learn to fail fast forward. Sorry, fail forward fast. Which is, even though with both strategies, you are either getting research before or after, you have to be ready to immediately tweak things once your product is out, right? So sometimes your marketing campaign can actually be some sort of survey that you're putting out there. If I put out a product and say I'm putting out a product for like a retired home for old people in Nigeria, when I put it out, if it's not selling, I can immediately ask why, ask from my team, see from social media feedback, listen to customers. Why are you people not buying this product? I see why. I can immediately pull back and say, okay, you know what, I'm calling back this product, or I'm going to tweak this one here, change the size and change the location, change the home type, so that it's easy for me to sell and appeal more to these people. So even if whatever you do before the product goes out, you have to be at least ready to do a fail forward fast approach, which is I see what is going wrong. I either fix it or I immediately count my losses, pull it back and put up another product.
Okay, I think I get now. So, consumer insights basically is quite important, like very important when it comes to selling any product, basically. And just the fact that these same insights can evolve, the same thing that they say now does not mean it's the same thing that would be seen when you bring out the product. So, you need to be in the market and in the trend. All right. So before we continue, I just need to reinstate the housekeeping rules for those that just joined. Question and answer session is going to be for 30 minutes after the presentation. So in case you have any questions, please feel free to type in the chat box. I'm already seeing some questions in the chat box. Also, you can introduce yourselves and try to connect with other people in the chat box. You can also engage with our speaker by sending emojis and questions as well. After the webinar, we will share the key points and relevant resources with you. So keep an eye on our social media channels for more information. So, Miss Onome, moving to the next question. We over the years we've seen that real estate companies that have registered are seemingly juicy. They have seemingly juicy offers, but they don't sell out most times. What do you think is responsible for this?
My immediate answer would be economy is hard. Let the poor breathe, please. But beyond that, I think that I mean, on a more serious note, to be honest, affordability is very important. It's probably the major thing with real estate in Nigeria. That's how we have such a big housing deficit in Nigeria. Um, People can't buy homes. They can't afford the homes that are being sold. And it's not because the developers just want to sell like expensive homes. The cost of even building those homes are high already. The cost of the land is high already. So it's very difficult to sell cheap, affordable homes. And that's why you don't have a lot of affordable homes in Nigeria. So affordability is very important. And so if you develop homes, like I said in one of my examples earlier, if I take a 100 million naira house to a Mushin or an Ikorodu, I'm wasting my time. It's not going to sell because I've gone to a target audience that are not necessarily going to be able to afford that. But if I take it to another, part of Lagos, I probably will do better in my sales. So targeting is important. Realizing who your target audience are is important. Knowing your home type is important. So what is the trend now? There's a high trend now of young people trying to get their own homes, staying on their own and whatnot. So a lot of people are buying homes to rent out, not to live, right? So if you know that it will determine how you build, you are building, is it 2 bedrooms and 1 bed as opposed to 3 beds? It also is it's very important to understand the market and to do your targeting. And then of affordability is an issue. And I'm going to talk on the demand and supply side. On the supply side, the reason people are not buying, I'm sorry, on the demand side, the reason people are not buying as much is because things are a lot more expensive, and there's a very right now unstable economy. So everybody's careful how they're spending their money, what they're investing in. I always say though that real estate is probably the safest investment you can ever make because no matter what the economy is, real estate will always appreciate. If it's land, house, whatever it is, it's going to always appreciate. So it's always safe to put your money there and go and sleep. But of course, you can also understand where people are hesitant, especially if it's very capital intensive. And that brings me to my third point, which is accessibility. For you to own a home, most times in Nigeria now, you have to have a large sum of money, one off or twice or over 6 months, 12 months. There's not very many options where you can pay long term. I know, we're in the era of Jackpot season and everybody knows somebody that has traveled. If you are not even watching now from your Jackpot location, um, and one of the things that you hear is they'll tell you, oh, as a young person, there's no hope of me buying a home in Nigeria. But if I go to America, if I go to UK, I have friends that have houses, their own homes now after 3, 4 years. That's because these countries have good mortgage plans, right? So it's accessible. You can buy a home and know that you're paying for the rest of your life or for a longer period. It's easier, it's cheaper, it's accessible. We don't have as much of that in Nigeria, which actually we do have, but the education is not as much. So we have the NHF, for example, that allows you to pay single digit loan, 6% over at least at the very least 30 years, depending on your age, right? A lot of people don't know about that. A lot of people too are not contributing to NHF because it's really people who are in employment that contribute to NHF. But you should be able to contribute to NHF wherever you are, but people don't know about it. And if you can access an NHF loan and buy a home. So I think education is of the accessibility that is available is a problem. In Mixta, for example, we also have other um, innovative, accessible pathways to owning a home. We have the rent to own, which is true, that allows you to pay your rent until it becomes your home. And all of these things, lots of people don't know about. I mean, the education is going around, but there needs to be more aggressive awareness about it so that people can understand that as a young person, I can buy my home because I can access it. Finally, I think that a lot of the reasons that everybody now is a developer. If I build one house, I'm a developer. And once I build a bulk of flats and I put it out for sale or I rent it to developer. And what that has done is that it has really watered down the reputation of a lot of these so-called developers. And reputation is very key in real estate. Trust is very key in real estate because people are investing millions of naira. You're never buying 100,000 naira house. It's not 200,000. It's not 500. It's not even 1 million, right? It's millions of naira at least 10 five if you're buying land. Like, it's not cheap money that I want to just go and give somebody that I don't know from Adam. So reputation is very important. And a lot of these developers are not reputable. You've had people who have been swindled, you've had people who have paid even big companies and their houses have not been built, all of those types of things. So yeah, home type, what kind of home targeting is one thing, affordability is another thing, which is a general thing for the economy, accessibility and education of the accessible pathways that we have is important, is another issue. And then finally, and then even the NHF, like the mortgage loans that we have, not all developers allow it. Some developers want their money outright; they are not interested in the NHF. So that is also an issue. And then finally, repetition. If they don't trust your company, if they can't trace you, see track record, they can't. It will be difficult to buy from you.
All right. Okay. Just accessibility, awareness, aggressive awareness, targeting, reputation. Okay, that makes sense. I think that is quite understandable. Okay, just to further buttress this particular one. So, majority of these real estate companies, I believe they have the reputation, unless it is we're looking at a more positive reputation compared to what we see outside. Because majority of reputation we see is just press releases about a particular juicy offer. So, what can you be particular about the reputation that you are talking about?
Okay, so you need to be able to portray track record. How long have you been in the real estate business? How many homes have you built? How many people have you given homes to? How many homes have you delivered? What's the quality of homes that you've delivered? How many communities can say they are from your development? How what are the people that work in your company? Is it somebody that just a one guy that just hits millions somewhere? Some people will tell you some developers are real estate, they are laundering money. There's so many things. Is it what are the professionals in that company, right? All of those things is what people would ask to be able to understand your reputation. You cannot demonstrate it either by just your website or by your sales team. So I can throw out a bunch of, if I have money, I can throw out a bunch of people and say they're my sales team, give them 10,000 naira per day and just go and be selling one house that I built in Ikate, right? But I've never done it before. You cannot trust that my house is strong. It will not collapse while you are living there. I can't show you that I've done it before. You can't trust that I won't run away with your money after I collect the money because where are you coming to? I don't have an office that you can see or you can come to. Or if I come to the office, it's just two people that are in your company. Like all those things, that is what builds reputation because real estate, unlike other sectors, is very heavily dependent still on word of mouth. It's very heavily dependent still on referrals. A lot of the times, your customers are repeat customers. Your customers are customers from people that have bought from you before. You rarely, the way FMCGs, for example, can or banks can just get 1,000 downloads and I can put up if I put up an ad and say and permit me to mention brand names please, but if I put up an ad and say Milo is now 500 naira cheaper than Bonvita, most people will buy Milo because 500 naira cheaper. They don't really care, the difference is not that much. But I can't do that with real estate where the difference has to be I'm telling you to bring 20 million, 30 million, and all I'm offering you is that my house is finer than somebody else's house. Do you understand what I'm saying? So reputation is important. Those are the things that build reputation. Your track record is very important. The kinds of people that work in your company is very important. How many people have you given homes? How many people can say, "Oh, I have this house was from Mixter." So, for example, Mixter has we've delivered over 5,000 homes across in just Nigeria, right? We've delivered more across Africa. We've been around since 2005. We can show you communities that we've built. We have about 10 estates that we can show you. Look at this. We own Lakwe Lakes, we own Adiva, we own Beach. Like you can tell that people are living in the communities that we've built. You can't doubt us, right? Unlike somebody who came last year and just because they've built one or two buildings, you think that, do you understand what I'm saying? If you were the one, who would you pick? Who would you work with?
Okay, I think I get it. All right, thank you. Thank you very much for that, for clarifying that part. Okay, moving on to the next one. What sources can real estate businesses tap into to access reliable marketing insights?
Oh, there's a bunch of things. There's obviously Google is your friend. We all say that Google is your friend. There are lots of market reports, market research reports out there from different estates, real estate financial companies, real estate advisory companies. Apologies. Um, Even other real estate companies. So, for example, Mixter has the Real Future, which is a market research report that we put out there on what the real estate sector is saying worldwide. The government has some data on their policy on policies and housing and land use acts and all of those things on the website. Social media listings, your analytics and your website metrics are very important for you to, as a marketing real estate marketing person, to get insights, to know what are people looking at amongst the products that you have, which ones are selling, which ones, where are they coming to, what page are they bouncing off from. Those things help you to better tune your advertising. Real estate consultants, real estate advisors, chambers of commerce, academic research. There's a bunch of tools and resources available for real estate.
All right, thank you. Okay, so dear audience, please, in case you have any questions, please can you kindly drop them in the chat box? I've seen quite a few. You can keep them coming, please. Moving on to the next question. What has been the best way to give you the most accurate insight into the mind of your target audience in real estate? And how long did it take you to find this out? What were you also like trying? What were the things you're trying to do before then? Could you
Okay.
enlighten us on that?
I feel so. The things I just mentioned earlier, so the reports, but beyond all of those ones, I think also surveys. There's lots of customer surveys done, questionnaires, general, either formal or informal. I definitely had to do an audit. It took me a while to do an audit when I started working in real estate before I did the audits. But before then, I had done some surveys and questionnaires to see, get some data. Um, there's a lot of data analytics tools to use as well, but it was me actually taking the data from before. People who have bought from us and analyzing what they bought, why they bought it, repeat customers, all of those things to sort of just understand what products are doing will do better or not. And also, it's understanding the economy at the moment. So, everything I mentioned before, but definitely surveys and questions. How long did it take to find this out? I think I knew right off the bat because it's a staple marketing thing. You have to do research to do marketing. You can't do marketing outside of data, outside of research, outside of analysis. If you're a marketing expert, you're a data analytics expert, as far as I'm concerned. You have to keep researching. So I knew that right off the bat. But what I will say is that because real estate marketing is not like every other type of marketing, it took a while for me to, I won't lie and say immediately I came in, I knew what I was doing. No. Um, some of the things that apply to, like I said, they apply to normal products, don't apply in real estate. You can spend 200 million on digital marketing and get nothing because, like I said, you're selling more expensive things. So it took a while to I try to tweak, and I can't even say that this is now the template. It's that for every product or every campaign, there's a uniqueness to each one. So you have to keep trying and saying and twisting and trying and saying. Real estate buyer journey is a lot longer than every other sector, I think, because you have to handhold your customer every step of the way. So it's a bit different. However, a lot of the techniques still apply, but definitely you can't do anything without data and research.
Coming from you, who has been in this industry for quite a while, I would say this is quite insightful. Thank you. And also, I it's like I just got a cheat. We just got a cheat code for something that took you a while to get. Thank you for that. Moving on, what as do you think the economy and governmental policies are underrated factors that affect the results of your marketing efforts, or are they intertwined with customer feedback?
Uh, Government policies cannot be overrated. They definitely affect everything that we do, especially in real estate. It's it's not you. I don't think, and I don't think that anybody actually underrates it. I think that we know that government policies affect how we market, and we are very aware of it. It's almost like asking if CBN affects banking marketing. Of course, it does. Um, there's no way we can do real estate marketing and not consider what the government is doing at the moment. Because, for example, and in the past couple of, even though I've always done it, but in the past couple of months leading to the election period and all of those things, there was a lot of research done in terms of understanding the economy, forecasting for after the administration, whatever administration comes in. So if this administration comes in, what could happen? If that administration comes in, what could happen? To then identify what kind of products should be in the market. How should we push marketing? So, for example, the first quarter of the year, I did very little marketing because I knew that people are not trying to spend money at that time. You need to understand that everybody's waiting for election. Who's going to win? Who's not going to win? Everybody was being careful. So spending money at that time would have been throwing money away because so we had to be more targeted in our marketing um, and more streamlined. Now then going to understanding, okay, if this person enters, what's he going to do? What are the things he's saying about housing? How will this affect? And that also led us to understand that, okay, based off of what we think will happen. And of course, this is not guesswork, it's research people, actual analysts doing their work. Um, these are the properties or types of marketing that we should be doing. And so, for example, we decided this year, knowing how things are going and things are going to continue to go, construction is a bit more expensive. So, house selling in itself came down for land, right? And this is the example I'm giving for myself. We had to now start pushing land above and beyond houses, and that's because if you want to sell houses, you're going to look at construction costs. The price of everything is going up every day. So if I'm telling you that I sold a house to you at 100 naira, by tomorrow the cost of building that house I sold at 100 naira is now 200 naira. So I've already even lost, and I've not even built your house. So it was better to start pushing land. So we decided to focus on land for a period. So all of those things, the government definitely economy affects real estate, and by default, it affects marketing. And there's a big role that marketing plays in product development that people always overlook. So if you realize how important marketing is in product development, in youth selling management, this product is not going to move now because of the way things are or because of what we are hearing from people. You will take your a role more important and you make more strategic decisions that will affect the company. So yes, you can't underrate the effects of the government and the economy on our marketing efforts. Can't. And it is intertwined with customer feedback because it's the customers that will tell you we can't do this and this because this is happening up there. So yes.
Yeah, that's true. Thank you for the instance given. I think that is a very relatable instance for people that are looking to join the business and all. Moving on, um, what do you think is the best medium for real estate businesses to build brand awareness, offline or online? And like, is it websites or social media platforms? What would you advise?
Everything and anything. Everything and anything to sell real estate. You cannot take away while social media and online is good because it helps you, like I said, get a wider audience, reach people faster, measurable, all of that's beautiful thing. Um, you can't take away offline. I always say that marketing in real estate, your marketer or marketing in real estate is the engine that powers the sales team because what marketing does is that it helps with improving awareness. It helps with improving the perception of the brand, which makes it easier for the sales team to sell. If I put out my sales team out there, they will sell, but it might be easier. It will be a lot easier for them if they can say, "Oh, I'm from Mixter," and somebody can say, "Mixter, I saw your billboard yesterday, or I saw your ad yesterday. Okay, I remember you." As opposed to, "I'm from Mixter, but I don't know what Mixter is." Remember, I talked about reputation earlier. So I don't think you can take off one from the other. And also, I talked about how the buyer's journey for real estate is a lot harder than if I was buying Indomie or Bonvita. I'm about to spend millions of naira. I'm not going to trust my millions of naira to a chatbot, right? I won't say, okay, I saw this house on my website. I saw the price. I saw how much it is. I saw the location. I did my VR tour. I like it. Everything. Okay, and I say I'm interested. And there's one AI will now respond to me and say, "Hello, sir, welcome. Please fill your offer letter." I'll say, "Okay, this is account number. Send it." I will not send 20 million naira to somebody I'm not seeing. I want to see it. I want to go there. So, or you even have situations where somebody has even decided, "You know what, I want to buy this house." Then he goes home and his wife says, "No, we don't want it. I don't want this house." You now have to go and convince madam that, "Ma, let daddy buy this house." So all of that, you need an actual salesperson to do that, because every step of the way, from attraction to conversion to attraction to consideration to conversion, you need to handhold that customer until they finally make payment. Even after they made payment, after sales is still very important, because you need to tell them, keep letting them know, "This is how we are with your house. We don't build, we have not built, this is what is happening, we like this, we don't like." You can't take away online from offline. So both of them are very important. They are equally as important. Your offline sales team, your marketing online, both of them are very important for real estate.
Okay, you can't take away online or offline when it comes to real estate businesses to build awareness for real estate business. Thank you. Moving on, can you shed more light on the relationship between brand visibility and audience perception with regards to credibility?
Okay. Perception, they say, is reality. I think that's, if you're a marketing person, you know this. I've said it, I keep saying it. Reputation is important in real estate. And unfortunately, your reputation is built on not just your track record or what you've done, but also on your perception. And perception comes from what they see or what they've heard. So if you are not visible, or you're not where they can hear you, it's difficult for them to even create a perception, good or bad, about you. And if they can't create a perception about you, that is automatically a bad perception, because they don't know you. So definitely, visibility and awareness is very important to credibility, because they can immediately familiarize themselves with you. They can say, "Oh, I've seen this, I've seen your company, I've seen this brand, I know somebody who bought a house from you." So, and then consistency. If I'm consistent in the messaging I'm putting out there, I've told you people I've built 5,000 homes, I've built 6,000 homes. You're saying it every day. You will trust us, right? It also sells. There's a part of emotional connection in how we market. So a lot of real estate marketing is about connecting with your customer emotion, because everybody is building houses. So why should I buy your own house over theirs? I need to let you understand. I need to connect with you with my content, what I put out there, right? Even the home I'm building needs to connect with you, because a home is very special to people. The living room might not be big enough, the kitchen might not be nice enough. It needs to connect with you. So even in what I'm building, I have to build with you in mind, so that I can connect. In the marketing, I need to market with you in mind so that I can connect. Also, good or bad, Nigerians have a way of, you know, rating companies based on the amount of awareness that they see. So if you're spending, they're seeing billboards, they're seeing, like, those people are spending a lot of money, they must have money, they must be reputable to be able to spend this amount of money on advertising, right? So it might be a bad thing, it might be a good thing, but it's how Nigeria is. High brand visibility is often perceived as a sign of quality. It's often perceived as a sign of market leadership, because they'll say, "Oh, if you say mention the top four real estate companies, top five real estate companies, if your company doesn't come up, there's already or even maybe not your company, maybe a product of your company that has come up. If they can't think of it, you have lost a huge chunk of the market already." So yes, awareness visibility is extremely important to credibility, especially again in the real estate company, because it helps you build your reputation. And reputation is the main reason why people will buy from you.
Reputation again and again and again. Okay. Um, in conclusion, do you have any other tips to help us as marketers in any sector at all, regardless of whether it's business, real estate, and all?
Um, your customer is always important. Always do your research, even when you're not putting out a campaign. Do continuous research on your customers, targeting. Um, with the way the world is and the way the country is, consumers um, targeting consumers' needs, consumers' wants are consistently changing. So you have to always be their needs. The information needs to be at the tip of your fingers. Where even without doing an in-depth research, you can immediately think of one, two, three things about each customer target audience, and you can bracket it for your products. Consistency as well. Be consistent with what consistent with what you do. And I would say maybe my takeaway out of everything would be feel forward fast. You can never know it all. Marketing is very, yes, there are templates to things, and but marketing can be tricky, especially with the fact that the people you're dealing with, like I said, their wants and needs are constantly changing. So you can put out something that works. Your marketing campaign last year could have worked and it's not working this year. You need to be able to feel forward fast, quickly identify what is not working and fix it. If you insist on staying somewhere because this is what I've learned in school, this is what I know, you will fail, hopefully, at that.
Okay, this is speaking particularly to me, I'm sure. Thank you for that. Thank you for this insight that you have given us. It really means a lot, and I'm sure aside me, every other person here has learned one or two things. So we have come to the end of the presentation part. Now we have some questions, basically, from our audience. The first question is: in the case where there was no research or customer feedback where product creation is, how do we create product needs in the consumer in order to sell?
Okay, I think I will go back to where I said learn to feel forward fast. So as you're putting out a product, even though you haven't done your research, you have to be ready to do that research once that product goes out and figure it out. Depending on what the product is, you might be able to either take it back or tweak it to a certain extent or whatnot, but you need to be ready to feel forward fast. I also, like I said, in fact, I would recommend, right? If you're putting out a product or a marketing campaign and you haven't done your research or whatnot, and this is now a marketing campaign, not the product development. The product has been developed. You have to put it out because sometimes in marketing, you have the management have said, "This is what you are putting out. Go and sell it. It's not your business. It's not their business." When you have that situation as a marketing person, when you're putting out your campaign, you're putting out your research as well. So even in your campaign, maybe your teaser, for example, can be you asking a few questions that will help you understand how this market will receive your product and help you even tweak your campaign. When you put out your campaign, it could be the feedback you're getting that will help you decipher what next to do or what not to do. So you have to be consistently listening and reading. So this is in a case where you have not done your research before putting out a product, but you still have to get that customer feedback once it's out. If it's your sales team that is asking questions, why have we not sold? If you put out a product and in 1 week you haven't sold, 2 weeks, what's happening? What are people saying? Can we change that? If we can't, can we change the messaging? So if people come back and say, "Oh, they say it's too expensive," okay, maybe in the messaging, instead of saying this thing is 100 million, maybe you want to say, buy this with just initial deposit of 5 million or 20 million. So that way it interests them. What happens is where you had a large pool of people who say, I don't have 100 million naira," and move on, you now have some people who say, okay, 20 million doesn't seem like a lot, maybe I can give it, right? And then in engaging them, you will still have some people fall out because they still can't afford the 100 million, but there's some people who may have just moved on. But when they now say that, okay, if you're giving me a 12 months payment plan, for example, maybe I can raise 100 million before the end of the year. Okay, I'm interested. Meanwhile, before the person had just seen 100 million and moved on. So if I did not get the feedback of pricing is the problem, I would not know how to change my messaging in my marketing. So all of those things are important. You cannot put out a product, put out your marketing campaign, and be looking. You can't do that. You will fail. You, even if you are succeeding, even if the thing is selling because okay, it's sugar, everybody must buy sugar. Actually, not everybody must buy sugar anymore. Now people are saying sugar is not healthy, it's not healthy. So actually, that's what I'm saying. The market is changing. There's nothing that is even water. Okay, everybody must drink water. What if I don't want bottled water? What if I don't drink pure water anymore? You don't. Not everything. Like you need to consider. Everybody's woke. Everybody's having an idea or the other. You can't put out marketing and sit down. Somebody else might it might be one group of people that are non inconsequential on a normal day that would raise hell about what you have put out there, and you need to now really back in. You didn't think of them before, but now they've come and told you you are killing animals for your adverts. What will you do? You have to apologize, write back, pull back your advert, write something else. Meanwhile, if you didn't harm any animal, but it looks like you did. All of those types of things. So you can't create a product and sit down. You have to continue getting feedback and fail forward fast where you can. I hope
Okay,
that
thank
answers
you.
the person's question.
Yes, I believe it did. Um, okay, so the next question states that as someone who is just starting out in the real estate sector, which marketing channels will you advise in him to invest in to get the most potential leads for products to sell?
I think it's very important to know your market and your product first. Are you selling affordable housing or you're selling luxury products? Um, let's assume that you're selling a mix of everything. I guess, and you're just starting off. I would say definitely because of awareness, you want to use the channels that help you with awareness. So Instagram is a platform that you want to be on. You definitely want to have a website because, like I said, reputation is important, and this is where they can get all the information about you. And your website should be very informative. Your website should show your track record and demonstrate what you can do and not do. Um, so your website is something you. In fact, I don't think that's a go without saying type thing. You have to have a website. Um, if you're just starting out in real estate, so people can trust you. Otherwise, if you're like a real estate agent, where you're not a developer, because I'm talking from development, if you're a real estate agent and you don't want to do a website, then your social media page is important, and you need to show the houses that you're selling, the houses you've sold before, testimonials, and all of those things. You need to have a strong social media presence because there has to be something that people can refer to. So I would say invest in your social media. If you're a developer, invest in a good sales team. If you're an agent, you are your sales team. So I guess you invest in yourself as a salesperson. Um, so that is where I think you can get your leads. But if you're again, you need to know that social media creates awareness doesn't necessarily always get you leads because real estate is not cheap. And the people who spend a lot of time on social media, the people who can afford real estate, the expensive luxury real estate, are probably not sleeping on social media. Um, so maybe if you're selling luxury, you want to do some GDN where you're putting it out on relevant platforms where you think you can catch those people. Another thing you want to do is also go to good events. You want to go to real estate events, network with other real estate people, um, find developers, find partners that you can work with, find potential leads as well there. So I would say some sort of online presence, social media website, invest in a sales team, yourself or a team, and then also networking. Hello.
Yes, thank you very much for that. Um, okay, so the next question, moving to the next question from Toby. So she asked that, please could you explain the importance of the NHF better?
Okay, so NHF is National Housing Fund. It's if you work in a company that pays you salary, monthly salary, you should be contributing to NHF. You find out from your HR if they contribute to NHF on your behalf. What NHF allows you to do is that you can buy a house depending on your age. Um, I think the minimum is from 15 to 30 years above. So if you say you buy a house at 30 of 25, You can pay till you're 60, till retirement age, right? Which is, I think, Nigeria 60. So the earlier you buy a house, the more time you have to pay up for that house, essentially. So if you're already close to 60, that time frame is shorter, all of those things. They allow you to single digit loan. It's funded by the government. So you are allowed 60, sorry, single digit loan at 6%. And you can take, before it was 15 million, but since the new administration, it's been increased to up to 15 million. So you can take up to 50 million, 50 as mortgage and pay back. So what typically happens is like a normal loan system where I see a house of say 35 million, I apply for NHF, it's approved, NHF pays for that house. I pay NHF for the next whatever number of years, depending on my age. Um, every month, there would have been a calculator that will tell you what you pay, and then you just pay that every month. So what that helps you do is that it releases capital for you to do other things. So instead of finding 35 million back, I can pay 35 million over a period and I can start living in my house. Now, the catch to NHF is that they typically fund only built homes. So they don't typically do off-plan homes. Um, Yes, so they do a built home. So if you see a house for sale, you can apply to NHF if you contribute to NHF. And yeah, you can access it.
Okay, thank you. I hope that was Miss Onome was able to answer the question on NHF. The last question we have: how can one carry out audience segmentation for the real estate industry?
When you say audience segmentation, you mean targeting, class targeting.
Yes, I believe.
Okay, so it's your typical audience segmentation generally, right? Your classes A to D, A being the highest income earners and D being the lowest. I would say put C in a C1, C2. So you have class A, the richest guys, the class B, you know, so your class A's are like your multi-billion naira dollar entrepreneurs and all of that. Your class B's are your CEOs, executive management, people. So if you go to the Nigerian Bureau of Statistics, you'll see how Nigeria generally classifies income based classification, right? So who falls into those classes based on income. I won't say that now, but I'm just giving like examples. So example would be class A is a Dangote $1. That's class A. Class B is your CEOs of banks, all companies or those guys. C1 will be senior management, executive management in big companies. C2 would be a little lower, so between junior to middle management in companies. And then your Ds are your low level entrepreneurs, low level income earners. Um, I can't give an example. And then your E's are like the really low down the ladder. Now, for real estate, again, depending on what kind of products it's in, some developers are affordable housing developers, some people are luxury. If I'm selling a house that is 35 million, another thing you want to know if you're selling a house, if you're allowed to sell a house on mortgage, is that Nigeria's loan requirement is 33% low payment repayment requirement 33% of your income, right? So 30.3%. So if you want to take a loan in Nigeria from a bank, your monthly repayment should not be more than 33% of your income. In a case where it is, you will probably not get that loan because what it is that they don't want you to be struggling with liquid cash monthly because you have to pay back a loan. So if the loan is higher than your repayment plan is higher than 33.3%, then you probably can take that on. So that needs to be put into consideration in pricing and targeting your real estate. If somebody is buying a 35 million naira house, their repayment plan is smaller than if they're buying a 70 million naira house. And so who can afford to give back 33%? So 35 million over, say, okay, that's lots of calculation, but if I'm paying back, say, if I have to pay back 100,000 naira per month and I'm earning 200,000 naira per month, of course, I'm not the target audience. But if I have to pay back 100,000 per month and I'm earning 1 million naira per month, then I am the target audience for that house, right? So your audience segmentation is very income based, because it's a large investment. It also depends on what you're offering. Are you offering loans? Are you offering a long payment plan? Um, if it is outright, also that is dependent. So all of those things feed into your segmentation of your target audience for real estate. So the income, the level of income is important. The location is also important. Where is this place located? Who are people that are looking to get it? And what else? Yeah, I think location and pricing are very important in certain segmenting your real estate audience. And then, of course, that will not distill down to where can you find them. These people who spend this amount of money, what are they on? What platforms are they on? What events do they go to? Where can I meet them? All of those typical things.
Wow. Audience segmentation based off income. That's interesting. Thank you very much for that insight, Ma. Okay, so we still have 10 minutes before the end of the question and answer session. So, in case we still have pending questions that we need to be answered, we can get them. We still have time to drop them before the end of this session. While doing that, I'm going to have to take us through the housekeeping rules once more, just for So, the housekeeping rules once again. Question and answer session is for 30 minutes. In case you have any question, we still have 10 minutes left for you to feel free to type it in the chat box. Also, we are almost near the end of the webinar. So, we will share the key points and relevant resources with you. Please do keep an eye on our social media channels for more information. All right. Let's wait a few minutes to see if we have any other questions before we move. Okay, it looks like we don't have any other questions, and I am very sure that almost everyone learned a lot. I am sure I did. I did, in fact. So I'm sure every other person did learn a lot. Once again, thank you very much, Ms. Onome, our amicable guest speaker for today, for the insights that you were able to provide to us today. And also, thank you to the audience for staying with us till the end of the session. And I would say, lastly, thank you to Pandora Agency for this avenue for us to learn and all of that. We hope that this is our maiden edition, but we do hope that the next edition has a greater turnout more than this. It has been a wonderful pleasure moderating this session. Once again, I am Samiat Abdulaziz. Thank you.
Thank you very much for having me. Thank you, Samia.
Yes.